Hello, welcome to Studio Pixel 3D Studio Max Rigging Chapter 9. In this chapter, we will move forward to creating another side of the hand. And left side we have created the FK controls. In the right side we will create the IK controls. For creating that, first select the shoulder joint, animation, IK solvers, HA solvers, and create the wrist. To create the select the wrist and create the IK handle. So and next we will create the swivel angle controller, which I have already created in the case of leg, and for that we'll definitely take a helper object. It's a dummy, top view. Okay, fine. So select the dummy and positionally aligned with the elbow joint, and say okay, and just push it backwards. If we have the both side, then both side of the hand, left and right, then create the dummies and align it, and just hold both of the dummies and just push it backwards, so that both of them will remain in the same position and sideway. So right now I have created the dummy, but it's not yet been connected with the IK handle. So select the IK handle, move on to the motion panel, and in the IK solver properties you will see pick target and pick the dummy. So right now you will see, if you change the dummy, and the elbow is moving. So that is the reason we have put it this dummy over here. And sometimes it happens if you put the dummy and your bones are not aligned exactly with the others in a straight line. See, the IK handle will go through exactly between the bones. So that means your bones are properly aligned. I mean, there is no ups and downs. Sometimes people do this. Oops, it's too huge. 0.2, 0.2. Okay, fine. Yes, sometimes do this kind of movements. Sorry. Or even sometimes they do this. This is the preferred angle which actually IK handle took, and whenever we create the swivel angle, it's got slightly flipped. So that if that problem occurs, you have to check the bones creation, because that's a very important thing. For the bones creation, you will found the lectures in the previous chapters, and you can find those videos in the rigging section in 3D Studio Max. That is very, very important, because the positioning of the bone is the vital factor of the rigging. So now we'll move on. We have already created the swivel angle, and right now we'll create to move a controller for controlling the IK system, because we are not going to animate the IK directly. So for that, to create a circle, and align it first positionally with the jointer IK handle, just positionally, because it's not gonna work orientationally, because the pivot points are completely different. So you have to match the pivot point. So move on to the hierarchy, active pivot only. We'll see that the x-axis in this side, z upwards, and y that direction, exactly like the world is. So now we have to match this pivot point with wrist bones pivot point. So wrist bones pivot point is x in the child way, and y downwards, and z in this way. So first of all, what we will do, before changing the pivot, we have to change the shape of the object first. So we will rotate this in 90 degrees. That's it. Just scale down a bit. Fine. And now we'll see that what is the pivot position is. The X become downwards, Y that way, and Z in the shoulder direction. So first of all, we need to any of them target. You can target any of them, I mean X or Y or Z. So Y needs downwards, X needs this word towards the wrist, towards the fingers, and Z to my direction. So first of all, the X should be this direction. So for that we'll have to rotate it in 90 degrees. So 90 degree Y. So it's done. And right now what we'll do, we have to just rotate this in the x-axis to 90 degrees. Fine. So that's the you can just try and error by the rotation values. It may be sometimes 90, sometimes minus 90, sometimes 180. It depends which way you are actually creating that. So right now it's matched, and okay, that's it. So just recheck it, X this way. Okay, fine, exactly. So now what we'll do, we'll definitely align it with the wrist joint, even orientationally, what we have created as positionally, definitely. And now we'll select the IK handle, and we'll make the wrist controller right here. So select the IK handle, animation constraint, and this time we will use position constraint because IK don't work in the rotations. So select the position control and select the circle. So your circle is now connected. Now you move the circle and you will see the IK is moving. And right now for the wrist part, because I have controlled the arms, I have already controlled the arms, but in the case of rotation of the wrist, still it's not done. So by creating another orientation constraint, we can make the wrist movements, animation constraint, orientation constraint, and select the control. Oh, before that, oops, I have mistaken something. Yes, I have freeze the controller. So alt right click, freeze transformation. Yes, so this has to be done because otherwise you don't find your bind pose correctly. So select the joint, animation constraint, orientation constraint, and select it. Okay, fine. Now you'll see that if you rotate it in the local axis, see your wrist is rotating perfectly. So exactly like the FK, because even if you are using the IK, you need this rotation, because your rotation should be done in the FK, not in IK. So alt right click and transform to 0, and you will get your positions back to you on the 0 0 0. That's why we use freeze transformation values, because animator likes it very well, because sometimes they do mistakes and change, they want to change to the default values, and they can select this, right click and transform to 0 and get back to their default position. So right now I have already created the wrist controller completely and my swivel angle, and right now we just completed this clavicle control over there. So just to drag this controller, fine. Okay, so move it, doesn't matter actually, but still, yeah, okay, fine. Now select this joint. Before creating that, again right click, freeze transformation, this has to be done. Okay, now select this joint, animation constraint, orientation constraint, and select the circle, and you'll see that flip down is always occurs in the rotation cases. Sometimes if your uh, the pivot point of the joint and the pivot point of the controller doesn't match, then it obvious to happen. Then we will fix that thing in the keep initial offset, and right now you'll see no harm at all. So it's done. Yep. So we have created the FK controls, and right now we have created the IK controls with the swivel angle. And the next chapter we'll move on to the fingers, and we'll see how to create the fingers in different ways, and also the oh, I've left the neck one. Fine, we can create the neck controls over here. It's very easy because create circle and just align it with the neck bone. Oops, not for the rotational axis. You don't need that because select this. Let's move on. Fine. Fine. Okay, now select this joint, animation constraint, orientation constraint, and oops, sorry, alt right click, freeze transformation. Yes, always do the freeze transformation. Okay, fine. Now select the joint, animation constraint, orientation constraint, and select the controller. Oops, your character has been knocked down. So first of all, just fix it up. Rotation channel, keep initial offset. Okay, fine. Now your character can rotate his head. Yeah, fine. So that's been done. And the neck controls, it's very simple actually. It's actually main concentration was on the arm, and IK has been implemented. Then we can see the position constraint has been used. We can do the clavicle, sorry, the elbow, and also we can do the rotation of the arms. So whatever we want, we can create with this, and it's a very simple way to reset the values. It doesn't necessarily always to use the control Z, alt right click transform to 0, and alt right click transform to, oops, see that things happens. Now if you heat the transformation to 0, you'll see the one of the object transform was never frozen. So right now it's very difficult to create the position of your default value. So right now alt right click, I hope this is in the right position. Yes, alt right click, freeze transformation. Yes, because right now right click, freeze, and go it back to the 0. That happened. If you miss the freeze transformation, you will see you cannot make it get back to the default values. So freeze transformation is very important. So we have created this, and from the next chapter we will move on to the fingers, and we will how to finish this rig in progress. So thank you very much.